Well, that first semi-final certainly shook us up a little bit. What a drama. Oliver Eriksson is this year's Supercar champion, but we, of course, have a race on our hands, and I know one man who is going to try and stop Oliver Eriksson from winning today. And to the left of your screen, that man is Matthias Ekström, world champion in rallycross. Next to him, Sebastian Eriksson in the Beetle. Second row, we have Jari Keliakoski, who's currently in third in the championship. Next to him, Philip German. Back row, Peter Hedström and Sten Johansson. Okay, I've just had some important information through. We hear that there might be a penalty for Kevin Eriksson, which means that Robin Larsson might be in the final. And here we see Kevin Eriksson. And here we see the reason maybe for that penalty is the contact perhaps with Ulrik Lindemann.
Yeah, so maybe a bit aggressive there. You can see the two of them rubbing on the way down into turn one, and then as Kevin got off the brakes, that just left Lindemann to be left to tug around and go backwards into the tyre barrier. So yeah, I can understand why the stewards are looking into that. There's a bit of a controversial move there. Stewards are looking into the onboard cameras, I've just heard in my ear as well. So of course stewards are going to get all of this footage that we have here, as well as of course access to the driver's onboard cameras to try and work out what happened.
And if that happens, if Robin Larsson is in the final,
he's still got a chance.
He's still got a chance, because there are 8 points up for grabs in the final. And as it stands, here we see Robin Larsson. He might just be in the final. The points, Oliver Eriksson is at 167 points at the moment. Robin Larsson with 164. So there's a 3-point gap. And if Robin Larsson makes his way into the final, there are 8 points up for grabs there. Yeah,
8 points, so
nerve-wracking moments for this man we see in our screens right now.
I'm sure he's probably going to be going up to the steward's room to fight Lindemann's case for him.
Here we see a replay of that incident that might put Robin Larsson back into contention for the title in RallyX Nordic this year. Contact between Kevin Eriksson and Ulrik Lindemann, sending Ulrik Lindemann into the tyre barrier. And we are waiting to find out if Kevin Eriksson will be taken out of the results from this semi-final, putting Robin Larsson back in and just turning everything on its head once again. Here we see Robin Larsson. We've just seen the scenes of Oliver Eriksson celebrating the title this year, because Robin Larsson was out. He had problems in the start of his semi-final, didn't make it through to the final. And then we have a complete turn of events with perhaps a penalty for Kevin Eriksson. There are some nerve-wracking minutes here, and those stewards have some job to do, don't they, Dan?
Yeah, extremely hard job, and if that penalty comes, the emotions between both Oliver and Robin are going to be sky high. Of course, Robin feeling completely disappointed right now, and Oliver feeling over the moon. And if it suddenly turns around that the championship fight isn't over, I don't know how they're going to handle it.
We're going to hear from Robin Larsson perhaps in a couple of seconds.
So, Robin, we're hearing that Kevin could be getting a penalty for that race, which means you'd be in the final, you'd still be in contention.
I have no idea how much penalty he got or how far behind I was, but I don't know if I'm in the final.
All we know at the moment is the stewards are looking into it, so you could still be in the running.
Yeah, then we need to solve the problem and go for it.
What was the problem in that race?
Yeah, as far as I let off the clutch and it just revved 4,000 RPM, so I couldn't full throttle, and nothing happened. So, yeah, it's a shame we have been so consistent and doing a good weekend, and now it's just, yeah, gone.
We'll wait to hear from the stewards.
Yep.
Well, Well, there he gave an explanation. Robin Larsson, full throttle and 4,000 RPM in a rallycross car. That won't get you very far, will it?
No, of course, these things tend to rev a little bit higher than that.
So that is disappointing. And like he says, you know, they've been so consistent, so good all weekend, and then they get to the real, you know, important stuff where he really has to have a good start, get himself into the final. You know, then that's when it happens. But we will concentrate on the next semi-final. Ready to race light is on there. We wait for the green light. There it is. And not a great start from Mattias Ekström, unfortunately. Jari Kaliakowski gets out and right in front of him. Oh, and contact there with German. And then there's contact again with Sten Johansson. Also him into the wall. Sorry, that was contact with Dan Skotopol.
Yeah, so a bit of a drama on the way into turn one once again. Maybe the stewards will get involved with this one this time as well, but it is Kaliakowski that is out in front, and Mattias not quite able to get the start that we've seen the Audis having this weekend so far. So maybe problems in both cars, although Mattias seems to be having the pace a little bit more than Robin did. But he's going to be wanting to get out in front of Kaliakowski and have a bit of vengeance for what happened with Robin.
Yeah, there certainly is something up in the starts with these cars, but like you say, not so bad for Mattias, and he is already hunting down Jari Kaliakowski, who is currently in the front. And we have Sebastian Eriksson there in third, but really unfortunate, you know, that it sort of happens now in the semi-final for both of these cars, because they have been working well all weekend up until now.
Yeah, it is crunch time now, so it is a shame to see that happening. I mean, you'd almost think that they would have been refining everything through the qualifying to get it perfect for this point, but maybe just pushing the limits that little bit too far and running the RPM a tiny little bit too low on the launch control, which means that the car would have just bogged down a tiny bit, and that meant everybody goes... that meant that he would have bogged down that tiny bit. Everyone went past him, and we can see Mattias is looking up the inside of Kaliakowski there, trying to be a little bit later on the brakes, but still couldn't make it work. And it's still the top three are very close together in this race. Kaliakowski running a little bit wide there through the right-hander. That's allowed Mattias to close the gap a tiny bit more. And just look at the two different driving styles there. Kaliakowski very sideways as he comes around the velodrome part of the track, and Mattias goes for the joker lap. So Mattias, he's got the gap behind him now. Feels like he can outpace Kaliakowski in terms of his outright speed. So goes into the joker lap to get himself that clear air and see what he can do now.
Yeah, Mattias Ekström there out of the joker. Full speed ahead to catch up the two in front of him, while we wait for the news of what is going to happen with this Supercar final. You know, just such a turn of events, seeing Oliver Eriksson celebrating the title this year, to then have it all turned on its head. And Robin Larsson might be back in that final race. We have to wait and see. 2 laps to go of this semi-final. Got a couple of cars out there with some damage. We had a bit of contact there in the beginning. And apologies for any bad pronunciation of our start number 103, Dan Skotopol from the Czech Republic. He went into the tyre wall here.
Mattias Ekström has managed to gap Kaliakowski on the joker lap there, so Kaliakowski went the lap after Mattias to try and respond. But Mattias has, well, he's put in a storming lap time of 43.4, which is the fastest of this semi-final so far. And now he's got to hunt down Sebastian Eriksson, but he is also in 43, something that Kaliakowski is not able to do yet.
That's an incredible comeback there from Mattias Ekström. Now, you know, he needs to do what he can, because if his teammate Robin Larsson is in that final, you know, if he is in the best possible position, and there we go, he is in front on that final lap, in front of Sebastian Eriksson. It is Mattias with that terrible start that takes the checkered flag. That's a drive of a world champ.
Certainly is, isn't it? Just not getting himself into a fight and using the joker to his advantage, and over the course of a lap he knew he had to pump it in, and he got it done.
Let's have a look at this start again.
Actually, I think it was down to reaction times. You could see the front of his car didn't actually lift.
We'll hopefully get an explanation from him here, but here we see the massive contact there between German and the the young driver from the Czech Republic. Here we see it again.
It was actually Kaliakowski that was involved there as well. So German into the side of Kaliakowski when they were on the brakes. German spat out sideways and then into the Czech driver. So unlucky for him on his first rallycross event. But
only 15 years old, eh?
Yeah, only 15, come from kart racing. So yeah, it's a bit of a different discipline to karting.
It certainly is, but what a race we had. We had Kaliakowski in the lead, we had Sebastian Eriksson in the lead, but we have our winner of semi-final 2, Mattias Ekström here, and we are going to hear from him in just a few seconds.
Mattias, congratulations. That's a semi-final win for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I didn't have too good of a start, but well, it was a cool fight in the race and I had a lot of fun.
It was very close with Jede in that race.
Yeah, I mean, I was close behind, but you know, you still have to do the 5 laps, and I felt I had a bit the edge of the pace, but 1 lap was enough to get in front, so now we try and focus for the final.
Good luck.
Thank you.
That was Mattias just basically saying it wasn't the best of starts, so you're probably right, it was down to reaction time. And here we have the results. The semi-final 2 won by Mattias Ekström, Jari Kaliakowski in second, and Sebastian Eriksson in third, as we wait for those very important news about what is happening with Robin Larsson. We will be back shortly.